Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we are live with the Wheel of Shakespeare challenge for the first week of January. Sorry about the delay. We were a little slow getting started. I was having the same computer difficulties I had last week of freezing up, and I got to see what's wrong with that computer that I just got. So I had to use a backup computer, which seems to be working fine. So, but we're ready to go. Unfortunately, Bill said he wasn't going to be able to join us again, but we're really glad to have a new participant. Alex, welcome to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge. I understand Elizabeth invited you. Thank you for bringing more people in. This is awesome. Alex is joining us from Germany. All the rest of us are from California. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, all the rest of us from the U.S. Until I brought Sheila in. Until I brought you in, we were literally all in California even. So we're branching out. That's good news. And a couple things I wanted to mention before we get started. I just put out a video on this YouTube channel about kind of my New Year's resolutions about things we can do for actors on using that channel. And I said, of course, this weekly thing, way to stay in practice. And I mentioned something else that that I just started doing this past week on what is it? TikTok, where they do the actor challenges. You have a minute, they do a scene back and forth, and you can do a duet and play a scene. I had jumped in with those. I shared some of those here on YouTube as a YouTube short, but I also created some new ones of my own. So where I did the first part and people want to complete the scene with me, that would be awesome. And then we'll film it over on TikTok, and then we'll bring it over here to YouTube. So that's another thing, that actors that want to collaborate with me, do some scene study together, some non-Shakespearean scenes. That's something I encourage you guys to check out. And of course, if you're new to that's a new thing. This is a tried and true exercise, which has been a lot of fun. And about updates to this, I have added a new monologue to the wheel that Paul suggested. Thank you for that. You suggested Jupiter's monologue at the end of Cymbeline. That's been added now to the wheel of monologues. And another addition I made, which was my wife's suggestion, she just suggested that this morning, said, the randomness, I mean, what about if people got to choose, it could be an option, but you have to spin it. She suggested a wild card option. I put on both the male and the female monologue wheel once, and the gender neutral one, because it's double the size, I put it on there twice, where wild card. So if wild card comes up, then you do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys like that idea. I like that idea right away.
Yeah, I like it.
So, okay.
Just as long as we're ready to roll with something.
Yeah.
It makes it more random, doesn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, does our new player have any questions before we get started, or?
Not really.
Okay, great. So we'll go ahead, and I've taken Bill off since he's not with us today, and I've added Alex. So we will now spin to see who performs first. Okay, so Paul is going to start us off. Paul, which wheel?
Did I understand correctly? You have a way of selecting that?
No, that's just on the wheel when we spin for.
Oh, I see. Then I'll do the gender neutral wheel.
Okay. Okay, spinning for Paul.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you keep getting that.
Did I not do that last week?
Yeah, you did.
We keep spinning, so I'll spin again for you. We keep spinning Iago for Paul. Huh?
Yeah.
Apparently Iago likes you.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
No, it's not to type.
Oh, good.
Ooh, that's neat.
Okay.
That's a great one.
Both myself and Elizabeth have done this one before, and now we'll get to
That's
see
Act 3, Scene 2.
Act 3, Scene 2.
Is that 148? The line 148?
Yeah, I believe that's the line I put there as my approximation of where it begins.
No matter. There. Okay. Oh, just about there.
Okay.
Just about
So
there.
whenever you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, let me. Okay. Okay. No matter where, of comfort no man speak. Let's talk of graves, of worms, of epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills. And yet not so, for what can we bequeath save our deposed bodies to the ground? Our lands, our lives, and all our bawling brooks. Nothing can we call our own but death, and that little model of the barren earth which serves as paste and cover to our bones. For God's sake, let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings, how some have been deposed, some slain in war, some haunted by the ghosts they have deposed, some poisoned by their wives, some sleeping killed, all murdered. For within the hollow crown that rounds the mortal temples of a king keeps death his court, and there the antic sits, scoffing his state and grinning at his pomp, allowing him a breath, a little scene to monarchize, be feared, and kill with looks, infusing him with self and vain conceit, as if this flesh which walls about our life were brass impregnable, and humored thus comes at the last, and with a little pin bores through his castle wall, and farewell, king, cover your heads, and mock not flesh and blood with solemn reverence. Throw away respect, tradition, form, and ceremonious duty, for you have but mistook me all this while. I live with bread like you, feel want, taste grief, need friends. Subjected thus, how can you say to me I am a king?
I think this author shows promise.
I think so too. I agree with you. He's not bad.
What a speech. What an amazing moment.
Yeah, that really
You just ride it like a wave almost. It just takes you.
Richard II is really one of Shakespeare's most underrated too.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, great job, Paul. So back to the five of us, back to the wheel with the names of the five of us that remain. The next monologue will be performed by Maggie, you're up next.
All righty.
Female or
I'll
gender?
go gender neutral, I guess.
Okay.
So I just
Something
lost you.
with that wonderful glittery background you've got.
It's just some lights I hung over a room divider with that has a curtains over it. I think I'm going to get a green, really intense green curtain and be able to use these backgrounds you guys do.
Yes, please do, because they get addicted after a while. But I love it. It's very ethereal.
Wow.
Oh, it did come up.
Good. So Maggie can do whatever she wants.
Okay. I don't think I've done this. Well, I don't know if I've done it anywhere on the online. All right. So this is partway through the funeral speech by Mark Antony. It's not the very beginning part where he uses rhetoric.
Okay.
It's more the it's where in the center when he's looking at the body.
Okay. Mark Antony funeral speech. I'll type that in. So I'll remove everyone else while he's finding that. Okay, Maggie. So whenever you're ready, go ahead with Mark Antony funeral.
I wish I had a body to show you, but okay. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. Look, in this place ran Cassius's dagger through. Oh, see what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this, the well-loved Brutus stabbed, and as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it, as if rushing out of doors to be resolved if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O you gods, how Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. For as the noble Caesar saw him stab in gratitude, more strong than any traitor's arms, quite vanquished him. Then burst his mighty heart, and in his mantle muffling his face, even at the base of Pompey's statue, which all the while ran blood, great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen! Then I and you and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel a dint of pity. Those are gracious drops. Kind souls, weep you when you but behold Caesar's vestures wounded? Look you here, here is himself marred, as you see, with traitors.
Bravo.
I wish I had that cloth to tear off, you know.
You set the bar too high for us.
Oh, it's such a good one.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. So the 4 remaining players that haven't done a monologue yet, next one will be by... Okay, looks like I'm next, and I'll stick with gender neutral. Okay, so I will be performing. We keep getting that already. So, wild card. I think I will do. Big one I haven't had a chance to do yet is basically to be or not to be. Why not? So I'll do that one. Let me set this up here. Looking for it here. Okay. Be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, to die, to sleep, no more. And in that sleep, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, is a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. Who would bear the whips, scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office and spurns, the patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make, the bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. This conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, lose the name of action. Get ready. Okay, so back to the wheel. I got 3 people that have yet to perform. Let's remove the people that have already gone.
Are you all actors, by the way?
Most of it. Is it?
Wannabes. I'm a wannabe.
I am.
I kind of wannabe.
Non-professional, but out there wherever I can be.
Okay, so next monologue will be by Elizabeth. You're next. Gender neutral or Elizabeth?
Yes, gender neutral.
Okay. Spinning for Elizabeth. Already been done. So you have the option of actually, you've already done this, and it's already been done. I think we can spin again.
Yes, I think we can.
Okay. Oh, Mistress. Nobody's done this one yet, but I look forward to this one. Mr. Henry.
Oh, okay. You guys have no idea. That was my wild card if I got wild card.
Are you serious?
I cannot believe it.
or the equivalent of wild card. So that's
Okay,
awesome.
that is chilling. Oh my God. Okay.
Well,
That
lucky
is
for us.
crazy.
Kismet.
Wow.
And,
Okay.
and it's one that I've been wondering. Nobody's done that one yet, and I've been anxious to see it. So
Wow. Okay. I know this, but I'm going to pull it up just in case.
yeah.
Wow. That is I am just, I cannot believe that. Can't believe that.
I can't believe the odds that we've spun wild card twice on the wheel. It's so.
And so I was bracing myself for it, and I was going, okay, what will I do? What will I do? Oh, I know it. I have it saved under hostess. Oh, that's so crazy.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, Elizabeth, we'll start with Mistress quickly.
I'm just going to pull it up just in case. Okay. Nay, sure, he's not in hell. He's in Arthur's bosom. If ever a man went to Arthur's bosom, he made a finer end and went away had it been any christened child. He parted in just between 12 and 1, even at the turning of the tide. For after I saw him fumble with the sheets and play with flowers and smile upon his fingers end, I knew there was but one way. For his nose was as sharp as a pen, and he babbled of green fields. How now, Sir John, quoth I, what, man, be of good cheer. So he cried out, God, 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 3 or 4 times. Now I to comfort him, bid him he should not think of God. I hope there was no need to trouble himself with any such thoughts yet. So he bade me lay more clothes on his feet. I put my hand into the bed and I felt them. And they were as cold as any stone. And I felt upwards and upwards. And all was as cold as any stone. And sing.
All right, that was awesome.
What covers
That's a
it
good
all?
speech.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, so 2 remaining players to monologue before we move on to scenes. Okay, Alex, you're next. So
All right, gender neutral.
Okay. Okay, so spinning for Alex. Oh, great. Lady Macbeth with New Spirits. So that's Act 1, Scene 5.
All right, let me find it. No. It begins with Come You Spirits, right?
Yes, it begins with Come You Spirits.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready.
Yeah, just find it. Okay. For some reason I don't find it. Oh, okay. Come you spirits that tend to mortal thoughts unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the top fill of dirtiest cruelty, make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctions visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between, that effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milkful gall, you murdering ministers. Wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief, come, thick night, and pour thee in the dumbest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark, to cry, halt, halt. I'm sorry, guys, I'm not an actor and I've never done any Shakespearean monologues.
Thank you.
Bravo.
It was better than I would have been in Germany, that's for sure.
Well, I'm from Bulgaria, actually, but I live in Germany.
Well,
Even more
No,
so.
that was great.
And
I thought it was very
I've
impressive.
also never read Macbeth.
Oh my goodness.
So it was completely new to me.
I am so unfamiliar.
my personal favorite of his works.
I would say that the readings I've gotten here, I've seldom been familiar with the play that the reading is from, but that's fine. It's an adventure.
Okay, so anyway, Sheila is the only one that hasn't gone yet, so it's your turn. Stick with
Surprise. Yes, gender neutral.
Okay. So the last monologue before we go to scenes will be Sheila doing... Oh, Shylock.
I think I did that.
You've done that one before.
I did that one, yes.
Oh,
So
yeah, you're right, you did. One person's done that before, and it was you.
I like the bad boys, so that was good. Now, we just had the Player King last week also.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, but I read the wrong one.
That's true.
So I was thinking, the purist speech. Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm
Let
looking.
me look for that.
Act 2, Scene 2. When and actually, you can do the whole thing if you want. There's a part before Polonius interrupts and says it's too long, and Hamlet says, "It will to the barber with your beards," and you can do, and then he goes on. You can do it before or after that interruption, or you can do the whole thing. It's up to you.
Now, is this I heard thee speak me a speech or different?
That one. I heard you speak me a speech once, and Hamlet starts doing it, and then the Player King jumps in and finishes it, the one about the Trojan War.
Oh, so you want me to do the Hamlet and the first player?
I would say from where the first player takes over.
Okay.
Doing it.
Anon,
he finds him striking too.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, so whenever you're ready.
All right. Anon, he finds him striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched Pyrrhus at Priam drives, in rage strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear, for lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So as a painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. But as we often see against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the rack stands still, the bold winds speechless, and the orb below as hush as death. Anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region, so after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new a work, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armor, forged for proof etern, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam. Out, out, thou strumpet fortune, all you gods in general synod, take away her power, break all the spokes and fellies from her wheel, and bowl the round nave down the hill of heaven as low as to the fiends.
Whoa, that's powerful.
Awesome. So we've all done a monologue now. We'll now switch to, we'll go back to the Wheel of Our Names. We'll spin two names who will perform the first scene together. So the first scene will be performed by Maggie and Maggie will perform with Paul.
Okay.
So Maggie and Paul will bring up a one male, one female scene. Okay, so Maggie and Paul are going to perform we have a Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. So that would be from the end of Macbeth's monologue that starts the scene about...
I'm sorry, I'm on another page to look. So Act 1, Scene 7.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice scene.
The milk of human kindness scene.
Is it going to start with the long monologue or?
Yeah, it starts with Macbeth. You know, if Paul wants to do that monologue, you want to do the whole scene, starting with the monologue, go for it. We got time. Or if you'd prefer to just, you conclude, go from the point where you conclude the monologue and Lady Macbeth walks in.
Lady.
So you two can decide that. So whenever you're ready.
I'll go with your cue, Paul.
Sorry,
You find I
if
understand.
it were done when 'tis done, and 'twere well it were done quickly, the assassination could trample up the consequence and catch with his surcease success. That but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump to life to come. But in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor, or even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust, first as my kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, which should against this murder shut the door. Bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that this virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only the vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business.
Ah,
He hath honored me of late, and I have bought gold opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemed the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Pretty peace. I dare do all that may become a man who dares do no more.
Oh, what beast wast then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than that what you were, you would be so much more than man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked the nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his 2 chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy 2 of his own chamber, and used their very daggers? They that have done't?
Who dare receives it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled and bent up, each corporeal agent of this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
Awesome. And it's not just that Macbeth is probably my personal favorite of all of Shakespeare's works. It's that I consider that probably the best scene. That's my personal favorite scene in all of Shakespeare. Where there's the
Exactly.
Dynamic.
The guts to do this, especially knowing what ultimately happens to her, and it's just, oh god, the intensity. That's such a good scene for workshops and so forth.
I always see it too, like with her, like putting her hands on him a lot, and being real sexual about it. Like, come on, honey.
I pictured how I'd love to direct this someday, and I always see this particular scene, how it all hinges on. I want to see the chemistry between the. I want to see the whole relation. I always see them sexualizing this very much. Like,
that's where it would go. That's where it would go. Come on. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is almost impotent to do it.
Exactly. And the sexual, and and that as soon as she wins him over to doing it, it's like, I want to see at the end of the scene, it's like she's never wanted him more.
Exactly.
I always visioned, I am the result of and Walk the Time with Ferris show right before you. I imagine they lead up to it and they big passionate kiss. They break away and Walk the Time with Ferris show after they, that's how I've always seen it.
It's
Anyway.
like it's like Natural Born Killers.
Yes.
That movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's true.
Great. Okay, so the next two people who are going to perform together will be okay, so I will perform with okay, so myself and Sheila.
Yeah, bravo.
Okay, so the two of us are going to do
Woo!
Ooh, we're right at that edge. What are we doing? Oh,
so Viola and
one. Okay, let's see.
we almost did Taming of the Shrew again. We did that a couple of last time. Elizabeth and Paul were great with that one. We almost spun that one. So let's see. 12th Night is Act. I forgot. Oh, darn! I closed it down. I didn't say Act 3, Scene 1. I think.
Yeah, I'm looking because I don't see. I see Fest. Okay, so it's Viola and Festi, right?
Yeah. So that
Until Toby enters.
Give me a second. I'm looking for it.
Isn't that the one do you live by the church? I mean, do you live by your music?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, so it looked like it's the very beginning of the scene. Yeah, so it's the beginning of the scene until Sir Toby comes in. So okay, so Sheila, you start us off whenever. Save thee, friend, and thy music. So whenever you're ready, let's start us off.
Very good. Save thee, friend, and thy music. Dost thou live by thy tabor?
No, sir. I live by the church.
Art thou a churchman?
No such matter, sir. I do live by the church, for I do live at my house, and my house doth stand by the church.
So thou mayest say the king lies by a beggar, if a beggar dwell near him, or the church stands by thy tabor, if thy tabor stands by the church.
You have said, sir, to see this age, a sentence is but a cherubile glove to a good wit. How quickly the good wrong side may be turned outward.
Nay, that's certain. They that daily nicely with words may quickly make them wanton.
I would, therefore. My sister had no name, sir.
Why, man?
Why, sir, her name's a word, and to dally with that word might make my sister wanton. But indeed, words are very rascals, and since bonds disgrace them.
Thy reason, man?
Troth, sir, I can yield you none without words. And words are grown so false, I am loath to prove means with them.
I warrant thou art a merry fellow, and carest for nothing.
Not so, sir. I do care for something. But in my conscience, sir, I do not care for you. If that be it care for nothing, sir, I would it make you invisible.
Art not thou the Lady Olivia's fool?
No, indeed, sir. Lady Olivia has no folly. She will keep no fool, sir. till she be married, and fools are as like husbands as pilchards are to herrings. The husband's the bigger. I am indeed not her fool, but her corrupter of words.
I saw thee late at the Count Orsinio's.
A foolery, sir. Does walk about the orb like the sun. It shines everywhere. I would be sorry, sir, but the fool should be as oft with your master as with my mistress. I think I saw your wisdom there.
Nay, and thou pass upon me. I'll no more with thee. Hold, there's expenses for thee.
Now, Jove, in his next commodity of hair, send thee a beard.
By my troth, I'll tell thee, I am almost sick for one. Though I would not have it grow on my chin. Is thy lady within?
Would not a pair of these have bread, sir?
Yes, being kept together and put to use.
I would play Lord Pandarus of Phrygia, sir, to bring a Cressida to his Troilus.
I understand you, sir. 'Tis well begged.
The matter, I hope, is not great, sir. Begging but a beggar. Cressida was a beggar. My lady is within, sir. I will construe to them whence you come. Who you are and what you would are out of my welkin. I might say element, but the word is over one.
This fellow is wise enough to play the fool, and to do that well craves a kind of wit. He must observe their mood on whom he jests, the quality of persons and the time, and, like the haggard, check at every feather that comes before his eye. This is a practice as full of labor as a wise man's art, for folly that he wisely shows is fit. But wise men, folly fallen, quite taint their wit.
Fun.
Okay, cool. So we'll have one more scene between, it'll be Elizabeth and Alex. So the two of you will perform together, and our final scene for today's round, the two of them are going to do... Looks like we spend the same one. You know, why don't we spin again?
Grease the wheel, Mark. It seems to be
it's your you do have the choice of saying, no, it's a challenge. I want to say that we're going to do the same scene, but we're going to do better than you. That's an option. If you want to, or
That's not going to happen.
Okay.
Almost got it again.
Yeah. Okay, so the Winter's Tale, Perdita and Florizel.
Oh my God, Winter's Tale. Okay.
Act 4. And I believe Perdita is the woman, so it'll be Elizabeth will be Perdita and Alex will be Florizel.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have it, Alex?
I believe so, yes. Do you?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so whenever the two of you are ready, go ahead.
This your unusual wit to each part of you, to give a life, no shepherdess, but Flora, peering in April's front. This your sheep shearing is as a meeting of the petty gods, until the queen aunt.
Sir, my gracious lord, to chide at your extremes is not becomes me. Oh, pardon that I name them. Your high self, the gracious mark of the land, you have obscured with a swain's wearing, and me, poor lowly maid, most goddess-like pranked up, but that our feasts in every mess have folly, and the feeders digest it with a custom, I should blush to see you so attired, sworn, I think, to show myself a glass.
I bless the time when my good falcon made her flight across thy father's ground.
Now Jove afford you cause. To me the difference forges dread. Your greatness hath not been used to fear. Even now I tremble to think your father, by some accident, should pass this way as you did. Oh, the fates! How would he look to see his work so noble, vilely bound up? What would he say? Or how should I, in these my borrowed flaunts, behold the sternness of his presence?
Apprehend nothing but jollity. The gods themselves, humbling their deities to love, have taken the shapes of beasts upon them. Jupiter became a bull, and billowed the green Neptune a ram, and bleated, and the fire-robed god, golden Apollo, a poor humble swain, as I see now. Their transformations were never for a piece of beauty rarer, nor in a way so chaste, since my desires run not before my hour, nor my lusts burn hotter than my fate.
Oh, but sir, your resolution cannot hold when 'tis opposed as it must be by the power of the king. One of these two must be necessities, which then will speak, that you must change this purpose, or I my life.
Thou dearest Perdita, with these forced thoughts, I prithee darken not the mirth or the feast, or I'll be thine, my fair, or not my father's. For I cannot be mine own, nor anything to any, if I be not thine. To this I am most constant, though destiny say no. Be merry, gentle, strangle such thoughts as these with anything that you behold the while your guests are coming. Lift up your countenance as it were the day of celebration of that nuptial which we too have sworn shall come.
O Lady Fortune, stand you auspicious.
See your guests approach, address yourself to entertain them sprightly, and let's be red with mirth. And then, oh, that's it.
That's it. Alex, do you know Winter's Tale?
No.
You got to read that. It's such a great play.
Yeah, I want to read all of Shakespeare, but I've recently begun.
That's one of the more obscure plays, but yeah, it's also probably one of the more underrated ones.
Oh, I think it's a great play. It's really great.
I think someone else and I did that scene, and we did a gender bend on it several years ago. Yeah, I think Bill and I did it.
That has come up before. I remember. Who was it that did that one with Maggie?
I think it was Bill and I, because I played Florizel and he did Perdita.
Yeah, I think because it's obscure. I mean, I screwed up, and I made sure I didn't make the same mistake again. I think I inaccurately told you which one was.
I didn't regard it as a mistake. I thought I can do it, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, Florizel does sound very feminine. I think I'm the one that did it, but it came out. Bill did great.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this was a great round. And Alex, so we're really glad to have you.
Welcome
back. And not just for you, but everybody else. I wanted to mention you had the concern. You don't have to be an actor, just somebody that loves theater and wants to participate with it in this process. This is a chance to do that. And please, I have a mailing list that I send the link to this every a couple days before every Saturday. So you can leave me that. You can email me, or down that the description of the video has my contact information, or you can just leave it in the comments so I can add you to the list.
I'll leave it in the comments.
I'll also message everybody on the list about the new things that I mentioned. You know, if people that join me with this every week would like to join me in one of those other things, that would be awesome as well. I've done my half of the scene from Basic Instinct. I know there've got to be actresses out there that would love to play that.
Yes, that's
play
true.
that role. I started it, but it's really the woman's scene to steal.
Yeah.
So I'll send you guys the link to that video where I have my ideas about how that would work, and if you want to participate with me in that'd be cool as well. But also this, and the people that are watching for the first time, I hope you'll come back, and I hope you'll consider joining in, and not be shy. like Alex wasn't shy in joining us for the first time. We hope he'll be back. And
yeah, I failed big time, but
No, you did
this is
not.
how you start.
we're great for the first
Convicting,
Oh,
Alex.
not
Keep
true
coming.
at all.
But
So,
Alex, did you told me that you wanted to learn English. This is a great way.
Yes.
No, I like languages. I want to read Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's great.
Really. So thank you for watching us. We hope you'll come back, subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned to this and the other things we do to enjoy great theater. We'll see you guys next week this time.
Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.